All right, people, Pass Rush Friday. We're at the end of the week, so we take a look at the pass rush numbers. They're pretty good. They're about as good as they've been in this recent string of successful defensive games. Um, Against a team like the Giants that you know is going to want to run first and run often, pretty good, I'd say. I'd say we did our job this week. And a lot of it came from the front, which generally speaking you would probably prefer. So let's start with the defensive line here. Shelby Harris, no, but Quentin Jefferson had one. Poona Ford had two, which is by far his most significant pass rush output this season. Al Woods had one. Old man Al Woods, not even playing that many snaps anymore. Very limited player in terms of how often he gets on the field. Still getting pressure just as good as Poona Ford is, so both credit to him and a big fat oomph on the whole idea of trying to make Poona Ford an effective player outside of the one tech role. Monet, nothing. Miles Adams was inactive for this game. And LJ Collier. I mean, guys, I hope you guys took a picture, yes, on Sunday, excuse me, on Sunday, when he got that quarterback pressure. Every quarterback pressure LJ Collier gets might be the last one he ever gets. And when I projected him out, when I added him to the list, I said, I think on the year he's going to get one pressure. He got that one pressure. He had another good play in this game too, by the way. He knocked down a pass. So, look, I don't know how much longer the Collier era is going to reign, but it's got to end sometime between now and the end of the season. So every time you see him make a play, just know it might be the last time you ever see LJ Collier make a play. But I didn't make it up. He did actually have a quarterback pressure on Daniel Jones on Sunday. So the defensive line totaled 5 quarterback pressures, which is, given the fact that we're running a 3-4 or hybrid, whatever you want to call it, given the fact that the defensive line has a lot of misshaped parts, like Poona Ford probably shouldn't be trying to play in a defense like this. It doesn't really suit him. Frankly, I don't know if Quentin Jefferson should be either. But given that, this is pretty good. This is pretty solid. Edge rusher, this is the other area you want to see a lot of pressures from. Pretty good again. Again, solid results. If you can get double-digit pressures out of your front line and edge rushers, I'm going to call that you're doing your job, especially with this new D. Now, Taylor barely played, so he didn't get anything. He played like 3 plays. Uchenna had 2 pressures, and both pressures resulted in a sack. So that is efficiency, and that's going to be one of the themes of the day. Efficiency with your pass rush. And I'll talk about why at the end of the video. Boye Mafe added 1. He actually got a sack. Now, the sack he got was kind of weird. It was like Daniel Jones just stood there and waited like he was a Madden character and his controller got disconnected or something. That's kind of what it looked like to me. I'm not sure what was going on there, but Mafe got the sack. And with that, a quarterback pressure. So he's got a couple sacks on the year now. And he's playing pretty good. Bruce Irvin threw in a couple pressures. He played basically the whole game, so he had plenty of opportunities and he made some plays. He did some things with it. Right now, with all the injuries we've had to our reserve edge players, Bruce Irvin has genuinely been a kind of a savior here. So, look, we got 10 combined pressures from the defensive line and edge rushers. So, there's nothing to say there except that should be good enough for the rest of this defense right now, especially when you don't have Darrell Taylor. And I think Darrell Taylor definitely that factor came into play in this game because there were definitely plays where Daniel Jones would drop back on 3rd and medium or 3rd and long, an obvious passing down, and then it felt like he had 7 or 8 seconds. And I was watching those plays thinking to myself, Darrell Taylor would not allow this to pass. As much as he is a limited player, you get Darrell Taylor out there, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that problem. I believe he would find a way to get to the quarterback in that particular situation. So for whatever that's worth, I do think that Darrell Taylor's presence was missed, and he would have had a couple pressures in there, especially going after Evan Neal's backup at right tackle. week because I know he obviously goes back and forth now some. So, yeah. Opportunity missed. We'll see what's up with Darrell Taylor hopefully later today. Linebacker, nothing for Brooks, but Cody Barton actually had a sack. And look, I mean, Cody Barton needs him however he can get him. But that was one of those 0-yard sacks where it's like a sack for no loss of yards. So not the most valuable sack I've ever seen from a defensive player. But right now, Cody Barton will take what he can get. Although, unironically, let me just say this, Barton playing slightly better lately. Mostly because I think we play him less. Less is more. So, hey, he's got 2 quarterback pressures on the year, and they have both resulted in sacks, or technically sacks. So, he's doing something kind of effectively, I guess. That's about as nice as I can be. Cornerbacks, there's really nothing going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. Not a lot of cornerback blitzing, and safeties, none. So you punch it all in and you've got 11 quarterback pressures, which is the same number you had the previous week. Difference is the Giants didn't throw the ball as much, so there are fewer opportunities. So I think this was a better week overall. Also because when you got pressure, you got sacks. We sacked Daniel Jones, I believe, 5 times in that game. So 11 quarterback pressures, but almost half of them result in quarterback takedowns. Yeah, sign me up for that. I'll call that a win any day of the week. And there were some plays that weren't technically sacks, but there was a play that's kind of in that vein that helped the team tremendously, like Shelby Harris chasing down Daniel Jones on 3rd down. That's a first down if Shelby doesn't make that play, keeping the drive alive, who knows what happens. Instead, he's getting the ball back to his offense. Like, that's not a sack because I think Daniel Jones gained like 3 yards, but it has a huge impact like a sack is what I'm basically trying to get at there. Yes, it's not officially one, but a play like that gets your defense off the field in a situation where it looks like he's in the clear to get that first down, that's kind of like a sack, and that comes from a defensive lineman. So I'd say things are looking up. This is going to be an interesting one against the Cardinals because we did do quite well against their offensive line last time. We got a lot of pressure on Kyler, including, if you look at the chart, 13 pressures from your defensive line and edge rushers alone. But we are trending in the right direction here. We're about halfway through the season, and we're on pace to get about 150 pressures. So it's not amazing, but maybe understandable given the fact that we've learned some unfortunate lessons this year. Like Poona Ford is not really a defensive end in a 3-4. That Brian Monet just not consistent enough. That Darrell Taylor is maybe a little more limited than we thought. Like maybe it just makes a little bit of sense why this is happening right now, and it'll be better in the future, but for now it's good enough for us to win with. All right, I'll see you guys later. Gonna be other videos later today. Planning on doing a ton of Valhalla tonight on Twitch because I'm trying to power through it to get to before Ragnarok comes out. So hope to see you there. Go Hawks.